C'est mercredi, mes amis. That is French for It Is Wednesday, my dudes, and it is indeed Wednesday, the Wednesday after I saw Wes Anderson's newest film, The French Dispatch. The French Dispatch is quirky and charming as all Wes Anderson films should be. Whether you like his style or not, I think that's what you expect going into his film, that both visually, the story, the acting, and even the way that the story is divided is all just going to be non-traditional and very Wes Anderson. That's truly the best way to describe it. This film is absolutely loaded in cast, from Wes Anderson's regulars, Owen Wilson to Bill Murray, as well as a plenty of newcomers to Wes Anderson films who are just some of your favorite stars, such as Timothée Chalamet, Frances McDormand. This cast is so wide, and that is because this story is conceptually pretty grand. It is as if you said to someone, I would like to take a issue of The New Yorker and make a film out of every story and section in this, as well as tell some of the story of the journalists who wrote each piece or story. And so that is how the film is split up. It follows an independent reporter for each individual story. So the film is sectioned off from an intro, basically, a small little bit, 3 main stories, and then an ending, which I enjoyed for this film in conceptually in that way of, if this is an issue of the French Dispatch, if this is a singular magazine, I think that's such a unique idea, perfect for a Wes Anderson film. However, if this is going to be your first Wes Anderson film, I highly advise it not to be. So what I mean by that is, if you've never seen Grand Budapest Hotel, Royal Tenenbaums, or Fantastic Mr. Fox, and are unfamiliar with Wes Anderson's style, his mode of filmmaking, the tone of most of his films, as well as just the fact that he does indeed split his film up into chapters, this will be a little awkward for you potentially at times, especially because this story in particular, unless you are from the outset invested in one of the stories, you may find it hard to connect with the film overall because it is so divided, which is not a bad thing. Again, if you have never seen a Wes Anderson film before, I would highly recommend that you familiarize yourself with his work and watch at least another film. The best one I can think, and it's one of the only ones I've seen, so again, there may be a better example, and if you have one, please leave it down below in the comments. But The Royal Tenenbaums is split into chapters. However, the story ties together in a larger third act than I feel The French Dispatch has, which I think is more rewarding if you are unfamiliar with his work. However, if you are a huge fan of Wes Anderson, you're going to really love this indulgence of quirkiness, style, and just the conceptualization of making a magazine issue into a film. As someone who is familiar both with Wes Anderson's work and style and enjoying that sort of quirkiness, I did really have a good time watching The French Dispatch. I don't believe it's the next best installment in his body of work. Again, I have not watched all of his films, so I can't say for that, but I know the 2 other films I have watched, The Royal Tenenbaums and Fantastic Mr. Fox, I personally enjoyed more than this. And again, it's because they follow a little bit more of a traditional narration and storyline, whereas this is a heavily split up and chaptered film, which is, again, not a bad thing, just something of personal taste. When it comes to The French Dispatch, I recommend it to you if you have seen a Wes Anderson film before, if you're looking for a feel-good movie that is just charming, that makes you love the style, the characters, the wit, and the big words that Wes Anderson likes to use. If you enjoy that type of writing in a film or that stylistic focus, you're gonna enjoy this film. But again, if you want to go watch this film, I highly recommend watching something else that Wes Anderson has directed before, just because I feel like this is a very indulgent film of his that, if you're not familiar with it, may rub you the wrong way. I also want to give a huge shout out to Chris over at Filmstock for inviting me to go see the movie. I had a blast. I loved getting to talk about the film afterwards with him, so Chris, thank you so much. You're the best. Have you seen The French Dispatch? Let me know in the comments down below what your rating or thoughts about the movie are. Do not forget to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button so you never miss these reviews, as well as all of the other recommendation, reviews, and recaps, as well as reactions that I do on this channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Have an absolutely amazing day, and I'll see you in my very next video. Bye, everyone.